Generative AI is revolutionizing the world, enhancing industries and empowering humanity. Boost corporate potential with Regenesis Gen AI Academy.
Ready to transform your organization with sustainable excellence? Introducing the ESG program from Regenesis Corporate Education. ESG stands for Environmental, Social, and Governance, the pillars of responsible business. From understanding ESG fundamentals for every employee, to empowering managers with tools to plan and track initiatives, and equipping senior management to integrate ESG strategies into your mission. Join our comprehensive ESG bootcamp and lead the way in sustainable business practices. Regenesis Corporate Education. Transforming businesses, inspiring futures.
Transform your data skills with the Data Zen Master program from Regenesis Corporate Education. Learn to excel in data analysis and visualization using Power BI, PowerPoint, Excel, Generative AI, and Python. From data processing and analysis to creating impactful visual narratives, our modules cover it all. Gain practical skills with hands-on exercises and real-world scenarios. Elevate your workforce with Data Zen Master program from Regenesis Corporate Education.
Regenesis Corporate Education presents the Women's Leadership Program, empowering women at every career stage with our unique AEI model. Transform your early career with vital skills in communication, decision-making, and conflict resolution. Challenge and conquer, reframe limiting beliefs, and build resilience. Lead with compassion, develop emotional intelligence and impactful communication. Thrive inside and out, prioritize well-being for sustainable energy. Embrace action, take decisive steps towards personal and professional flourishing. Champion equity, build a more just and empowered world.
Recording in progress.
Bangalore HSO branch. But only for a year. No, after BCom they just push you into a job. That was the job. I was agent, I'm a development officer. I wanted to do my MBA, so I dropped out. wedding party and all, we are waiting to reach the door. It's a gift. You have to keep it closer to your mouth when you're speaking. And after you speak, it's a long press to switch off. So your mic's close by, your mic in. So long press to switch off and one press to switch on. We'll start. Good evening, everybody. Okay, I want to see if you're attentive, okay? Touch your forehead. Okay? You'll have to do whatever I tell you to do. Is that all right? Touch your forehead, your cheek, your chin, your nose, your cheek, your chin, your head, your head, not forehead. Okay, good evening, everybody. I didn't hear it. Good evening, everybody. Very well. I'd like to welcome all of you to this forum, the HR Leadership Panel discussion. We have with us our three eminent guests. I know you all know about Regenesis, but I'm going to tell you a little about it again. Okay, so Regenesis is a business school founded by three entrepreneurs, Dr. Marco, Dr. Penny, and Mr. William. You know them? Right. Okay, we started off initially with a business school, but today we have about 300,000 students across the world, across 190 countries. Hi, Dr. Marco. Good evening. Okay, today we've evolved from the Regenesis Business School into the School of Law, School of Technology, and we are in digital Regenesis, in the digital format, and in the corporate education. These are few to name, but we have many more. Apart from this, we are in this form of Regenesis Corporate Education India, and we take care of learning through leadership, IT, and other programs. Saying this, we also design, curate, and compile programs for leadership, general education. We also support them with graduate programs and also behavioral learning. We also support with the evolving needs of the business, and we had some conversations around that when we were trying to introduce ourselves with the speakers. We found that the market is doing a lot, and we are complementing those when it comes to corporate education. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce Dr. Marco. Dr. Marco is a founder chairperson of Regenesis. He built this company 26 years ago into a well-respected global institution today. He has been an entrepreneur, a development worker, and an educationalist. He's obtained his PhD in performance management and served in several private and non-profit organizations. He's the author of a best-selling book, Success Story. He's inspired and touched thousands of lives across the world. Welcome, Dr. Marco. I would like to take this opportunity and directly come to our panelists and introduce our speakers for today. Pankaj comes with 29 years of experience, starting with retail sales, advertising, market research, teaching, and training, out of which the last 24 years in professional training in sales, marketing, customer service, including 20 years in insurance industry. Good to have you here, Pankaj. Anand comes with 28 plus years of experience in the BFSI domain. He has worked with reputed organizations like LIC, HDFC Life, JP Boda Brokers. He's currently the group head of JP Boda Group for training and development in India and international market. It's a pleasure to host you, Anand. Welcome. Avijit is a seasoned professional with about 15 years of experience in the insurance industry, an experienced training head. He's demonstrated a history of excelling in direct training and strategy, business relationship management, and team management. It's a pleasure having you here, Avijit. Welcome. We have Viju. Viju Joy is the CEO of Regenesis Corporate Education India and Digital Regenesis. He's a dynamic global business leader in the EdTech space. He comes with about 2 decades of experience and is a pioneer in bringing unique and innovative learning initiatives in the corporate space. We're excited to have you on the panel, Viju. Through this discussion, we aim to delve into the critical and crucial challenges and opportunities that the L&D space, L&D people face in the industry, in the insurance industry. I don't have to give you data, but something that we researched, so I better talk about it, is the Indian insurance industry is projected to reach a market size of USD 250 billion by 2025. That's a massive growth. And a CAGR of 12% to 15%. And this growth is propelled by the consumers' disposable income. It's also by the awareness that they have and the supportive government policies that have come up. Despite this growth, if you look at the penetration of insurance in India, has not been so much when compared to the developing countries. The insurance industry is undergoing a digital revolution, a massive digital revolution. They're moving from just insurance to insurance tech. And from there comes this first question to Avijit and Anand. How will the role of leaders, L&D leaders, evolve as insurance industries move just from insurance to insurance tech? What are the best practices followed by your organization? We'd love to hear from both of you. Who would like to go?
So thank you, Monica. So first of all, I would like to share some experience of my organization in the recent past, which we have done. So earlier, in a traditional method, we used to go to approach customer, meeting customer, especially in a life insurance space, and then we do financial analysis of the customer, finding out the gaps regarding his value, how much he worth for insurance or the coverage he needs to support his family in case of any uneventuality cases. But now, especially with COVID, I'm sure many of us has gone through situations, and the examples are very, even in close relatives. So now that has given an opportunity to understand that whether we need insurance or not. But addition to that, as a leaders, the organizations has also developed in that particular space, like I'm talking about with digital effectiveness. So as an organization, we have started a project called WIN, so where the women in insurance, and where people are now following up BIMS even for the lead generations. So people can create lead generations for approaching a customer, and whoever comes to us is basically interested to buy insurance. Not like earlier that I go and approach maybe 10 customers and I would be able to close only one customer. So now due to this approach, a person come who is already interested for having an insurance. Right, sir?
Yes. As rightly pointed out by Avijit, the transition of traditional way of selling insurance to InsurTech way of selling insurance has been really, we can see that, we can witness that. We can compare multiple products of different insurance companies and then buy a particular insurance product. So that kind of an evolution has come. So in continuation, in line with that actually, as an organization JB Boda, we are reinsurance and insurance brokers actually. We have started a platform named as Walnut. Now in that basically anybody can go onto the Walnut site and try to compare different insurance products and then buy if they want to, depending on the cost, depending on the benefits that those insurance are going to offer to them. Having said that, currently we have only 3 products on that, but yes, on a way forward we can try to go evolve and maybe add up more products to that. The evolution of generic way of selling to InsurTech way of selling. Why did we transition into that is a $1 million question that we need to ask for ourselves. The reason is the current generation. The Gen Z that we call are the ones who would like to, they have got very less amount of time with themselves and disposal for themselves that they can try to wait, listen to what is being told and then buy an insurance product. So they want it at the press of a button. So can we try to provide something like that? The entire industry today is moving from a traditional way of selling to the InsurTech way of selling. So the technology is playing a very, very vital role. And unless the industry, unless the different styles of selling are going to change, maybe the penetration that Madam was talking about a few minutes back will not be reaching to that particular level. So having said that, in my organization, we have started with Walnut, as I told you. Apart from that, there are various initiatives like L&D that, the training that we are going to impart is on digital platforms. Maybe coming way forward in the coming days, actually, the policy documents that will be issued are again into a similar way. We have seen many transitions coming up actually with the insurance company, people giving various products, maybe pay as you use type of a thing which is coming up. So all these things are creating a big amount of change in the way the insurance is perceived and looked at. Now, does this apply only to the urban crowd? The answer is no. It has deep rooted and it is penetrating deeper also. And with the current IRDA, being more focused towards developing the entire market, the penetration in the coming days, the awareness in the coming days will definitely take the next seat. And technology per se, InsurTech per se, will definitely be the way forward is what I would like to say. Thank you.
You kind of told me everything around the product, but how is the L&D role transforming?
The L&D role is taking rather I would say again a U-turn, because earlier, like classroom trainings, now the digital platforms of trainings have come up. There are short-term courses because the attention span of individual is reducing over a period of time. So what's happening is ki if I give them a continuous lecture for about 2 hours or 3 hours, maybe nobody is interested. So small bites, small capsules of trainings are coming up, and they are as small as 30 seconds also. You may be wondering, we were just discussing few minutes back in the boardroom actually. At that time, you know, we saw a couple of videos that was shot by the participants and being, you know, promoted in the market, which are going to talk about awareness, which are going to talk about the product features, which are going to talk about maybe the way insurance is, you know, accepted in the market. Right from the fear perception to the greed perception, how the entire journey is happening of buying, the buying cycle, what we may talk it, is there actually. Yes, as you rightly pointed out, the learning patterns are changing gradually. You know, the LMS platforms we are talking about, the short-term courses that we are talking about, industries relevant and industry specific courses, even the soft skills, the knowledge part of it can be easily you know, transmitted through the technology part, technology way I would say, and that is the way forward for understanding also and getting certified also. We have just developed a certification program for 5 days. You'll be surprised. Those are called technical aspects of reinsurance. So such type of small courses also are coming up where we get the basic knowledge, number one, and these are all can be transmitted either through classroom or technology way. And the way forward is technology, I would say. I hope I have answered your question. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, just I would like to add. So there are organizations where maybe 15 days of training program were there. But nowadays, everybody is reducing this into maybe first only 3 days at the time of joining, and maybe after 15 days, 1 day, and so on, so that the entire journey of learning is there, but that would be spread across in 6 months. So same 15 days is now has been make it a small capsule for 6 months so that they can consume the entire training, but they can learn step by step rather than the whole lot of training in one go. So that is what I believe the technology is also involved in terms of creating a bite-sized learning and along with the assessment so that they can learn the first step and then go to the second step and so on.
And the measure to that also is there. You know, if you observe very minutely how it can be measured, whether the person has attended or no. You know, learn as you go. You know, maybe in a day you can allocate a 1 hour slot for that. And in that 1 hour you can go to, you know, your LMS platforms, download whatever you want, or if already downloaded, you look at that. Your travel time can be saved. You can use the learning happening in the travel time also. There are certain audio recordings that happen actually which you can try to utilize. And all these things are happening. The change is coming in a big way, and yes, it is more relevant and it is more, I would say, acceptable by the current generation also. And that's the way forward. I remember we had a 3.5 months training during my LIC days. I'm talking way back in 1989. And trust me, nobody to disturb. But I could see a sea change coming in 2008 when I joined HDFC Life and the training was happening. The management trainee student who is sitting inside is being asked by the manager outside, you know, by putting a WhatsApp text or, you know, maybe, you know, calling him up and asking, "Aaj sham ko kitna login karega?" You know, what is the business you would like to generate by end of the day today? So the natural markets got exhausted in that particular way. So things are changing. Yeah.
All said and done, this industry is facing the highest attrition. The Hindu business line pegged attrition to 40 to 60% in the insurance sector due to the rapid revival in growth. You know, if that's the turnover we're looking at, how are we managing the talent pipeline? So I'd like to hear it from Pankaj. Pankaj, I would like to know what's your organization doing to build the talent pipeline and how are they addressing attrition here?
Okay, I think we started with the digital era that has begun and then bringing it to L&D. And then we are talking about the fast attrition also in the industry, not only in insurance but in across industries. One is that we have to look at the society, how it is changing. So it's not about corporate or industries that the changes are happening. The changes are happening elsewhere, and then we are at the receiving end. I am not going to blame the digitization that is bringing in this change, because we are users also of the digitization. But at the same time, we also feel that it's not only about employees' life cycle that has reduced in an organization, it is also the organization's life cycles also. So we see that Fortune 500 list 15-20 years back, which were the companies which were topping at that. Now we see that many of the companies are not at all there. Yeah, you take examples of Kodak, and there are many numerous examples which are completely wiped out. They ruled the industry for decades, maybe century also. So technology is a part of bringing all these changes, but there are other social issues that are also bringing these changes. I personally feel that if we acquire the technology in a better manner, these changes can be managed very well. So managing technology becomes a sphere in itself to look at it. And in our company also, we were discussing about complete digitization. We are at the phygital level where, and I think most of the industries are at the phygital level, or they're not completely digital, physical and digital combined. And it is working out well. If I have to say that, it is working out quite well, because customers also are looking at that. In my industry, where I belong to general insurance, non-life insurance, we still get customer requests to send a person to their place, talk to them. Many a times, the virtual, this thing also kind of can create a barrier, and they would like to have person coming in. As far as the learning and development and the retention and attrition that I'll come to, I would like to divide this into three categories, the whole learning sphere that we are looking at. One is completely online, self-paced learning, where no intervention is required. Second is the phygital that I am talking about, where blended learning is happening. We have VILTs, virtual instructor-led training. And then third is the completely physical, which is instructor-led training, which is the old method. And it is also, you can see that happening, although not like 3.5 months of training or maybe 15 days of training. But in my organization also, we are looking at all the three methods. Because the purpose is not which method you use. The purpose is whether people get educated properly or not, and whether development happens holistically or not. So if digital is helping, why not use it? AI is also a great intervention on that. Because if a learner is interested in a particular topic, and we sitting here would not know what interests the person, the AI is supporting that. The AI is bringing it in front of them. And that is a great thing to leverage on. While we talk of attrition, I think this is a challenge for all industries, general insurance, life insurance, and all other BFSI sector industries. Employees, we have to get to the root of it, and we have to ask maybe 5 times why people leave organizations. And most of the time, the studies also show that it is something very personal to them, that they are looking for certain things which your organization may not be able to identify and provide them with. So every time the studies show, I was recently reading one study which mentioned about people's aspirations in working in the new era. So Gen Z and the new generation. So there we find that it is not the typical old school thought that these are the motivators that will work. There are certain softer interventions also which are working very fine with them. So it could be the environment that you provide, the culture that you provide works very well. The kind of opportunities that they get, the kind of learning that they get, development that they get on a personal front, which matters quite a lot. And quickly to come to the point, it is not the responsibility only of the organization or only of the individual. it is a joint responsibility. So together they work to develop themselves. They take help of the organization, and the platforms that we create, maybe virtual or physical, they take advantage of that and they develop themselves. I think identifying the trigger points and particularly what motivates them and what demotivates them is the job of HR also greatly, to identify the generation which is, Instagram generation, or you can say TikTok generation, where they want quick results. They want to see visibility is, optics and visibility matter a lot. So recognition matters a lot. Earlier we used to have a certificate and we were happy getting a certificate. Today it has to be visible everywhere, and virtual walls should be there where other employees get to know. And not only inside the organization, we have realized that even on LinkedIn, you have to put it there, that somebody has achieved this, and then it is to the whole universe that you kind of publicize it. That matters quite a lot to them. So I think probably I've touched upon certain things, and if...
Yeah, just an add-on to the same question, you've kind of touched on attrition, you've given us some insight to some things that we can do, and you've also brought in Gen AI and Generation Z. Okay, but saying that, I would like to know what kind of talent planning are you doing for this gen that you're talking about?
So one is that, first of all, what roles do we look at? And as somebody was, I think Anand was mentioning, that the whole kaleidoscope is changing, where you see that the society also is at a certain place where people are getting into such professions which we did not ever imagine. And customers are also, wanting certain things from the industry. So the employee is a bridge between the organization and the people at large, the customers, we may say. And the kind of profiles that we have, I belong to general insurance, where we have a very, you can say, a traditional way of looking at things, but now changing rapidly. We are looking at people who are, first of all, we have to look at ourselves whether we have completely understood the people who are getting into the job market. Secondly, do we provide them with all the type of learning that they have inside the organization? Are we geared up for that? Are we looking at digitization as a threat or as an opportunity? And how effectively we are implementing those things? Third is that besides learning, do they really get opportunity to work on those platforms? Let's say if we are having any digital tools that we are talking about, are they actually using them? They are hands-on with them. And is it being used for the benefit of the customer also? I will just give one small example here of my organization, that it takes a lot of effort, money, and a lot of difficulties when you have to go to a motor garage where a customer has brought in his car for repairs and it is under claim. Now going there and addressing that small 20,000 claim is a big deal. You have to have manpower to do that, and people who have to go to that place. It could be a remote place. It is time, effort, and everything. So why not have a virtual call with the garage? Sitting here, the claims investigator can actually look into, just like doctors today are remotely doing the surgery, with the help of robotic things, and virtually they are advising. So sitting here, the claims person, investigator, can actually look into the damaged vehicle, do a survey quickly there virtually, and get the claim passed. So this is how I think we need to engage the employees also, the new generation, where they feel, and every time we have a new employee lot coming in, they come up with many ideas that these are the things you can implement. Thank you.
Just to add.
Yes, please. Just one press. Yes.
Just to add to what Sir mentioned just now, typically this generation which comes with an expectation of 4 things. What is it that an employee wants? The first one is money. whether there is an adequate amount of money. This industry definitely is paying more, no doubt. Second is the recognition. A pat on the back at the right time from the right person. Third is the power. Is the child power hungry? Can I offer him some promotion or a chair and then make him comfortable over there? That needs to be understood and analyzed by the HR person. And last but not the least is the contribution that he is giving. So, you know, out of curiosity, if this child, if the HR persons are really able to understand where the crux lies, and if you are able to give that, because it is said that, you know, people do not leave organizations, people leave the managers. So our leaders should be trained. Our leaders should be, you know, given that kind of an input through corporate training and all, that these people will be in a better position to handle this Gen Z properly. Encourage them to participate into the last part, that is contribution. If you contribute more, all the three above, money, power and recognition will come to you. That kind of an assurance, that kind of a thought process if we give, I think the iteration can be reduced to a large extent. In my organization, if you have to, you know, tell you that, we have got a strong system in place where we try to identify talent, because we are more, insurance is per se more knowledge based industry. So the knowledge plays a very important role. And now the adage is different. Knowledge put to, you know, knowledge is power is what we have been hearing from years together. But now it is very, very clear, and the Gen Z needs to be more clear on that, that knowledge put to action is power. So if it is not put to action, it's not power at all. So that way, these are the different areas where, you know, the iteration could be arrested, ma'am. And I think, you know, new talent pool that needs to be created is basically identifying where the knowledge lies, which industry is there. This industry is very small, because who moves from one place to the other, it's very much visible, and it can be definitely seen also. So identifying the right kind of a talent, whether the person is fit in my own organizational culture or no, keeping all those aspects in mind, if you are able to, you know, justify, I think a great talent pool also can be created. That's what is our, you know, legacy understanding from JB Voda Group.
You want to say something? Thank you, Pankaj. Thank you. As you were speaking, you kept pointing out on three things. One is digitization, Gen AI, and the multi-generation that is in your workforce. That kind of brought me to a next question, and I'm going to address it to Abhijit and Viju. How is Gen AI being used in your organization? How is L&D enabling your employees of your organization to use Gen AI to become productive and efficient? And what phase are you in? Okay, and what would help us is just share some best practices here.
So if I talk about, especially in our distributor training and our employee training. So like distributor are not coming to us on a regular basis. They come maybe once in a month, or maybe we cannot able to approach everyone even on every month. So in Gen AI, like one of the LMS app where a person is in front of a customer and he wants to know regarding a particular product. Maybe we have a basket of 25 products. I may not be able to memorize or have the understanding of all products together in one go. But if I want to know, just ask in my WhatsApp regarding that particular product, and I can get information regarding that product. So otherwise, in a traditional method, I need to talk to maybe my training manager or my supervisor to need regarding the product. So now even in customer space, I can get the product in one go. It is in my fingertips. Not only product, I can talk about the features, benefits, and the sales illustrations. So all could do rather than depending on somebody else, or a person can be independent in terms of help of AI. So that is one most thing. But again, there is a training requirement. I should, talk about it. The general or AI can help us, but I need to know that which search or the options I should ask for so that I can get the right prompt answer. So we need to train even on that particular area so that they know exactly what the feed I need to put to get proper answers. I think I have answered your questions.
Yes, kind of, yes.
Okay. And anything else? What you would?
I will ask you.
Okay, sure. Vijay.
Yeah, hi. So Gen AI is, I think, the most, if you probably search on Google or our conversations, personal conversations, you'll find Gen AI being used the most. Whether you know it or whether you want to sound very intelligent, you just throw that word and, you can sound, everything can be done from Gen AI, right? Like Gen AI and Aladdin's Genie has a lot of difference, right? So there is a lot of difference in knowledge and tool, right? So Gen AI is a tool. And how do you use a tool? It depends on you, right? So it's beyond prompt engineering, right? So you look at insurance as an industry. What we see is India is at 4% insured, right? 4%, around 4%. Nor that in the whole world is at 40%. Whole world is around, they're around like, 7 to 8, 10%. So where does India lie? India lies in the villages, like we all heard, right? So Gen AI is a tool which can take India, how can you reach to the masses, create customized products, how can you create those, innovations, how can you do those personalized marketing through Gen AI, how can you train your teams which are spread across, those are the use cases. And one of the reasons which we found that why Gen AI has not been implemented, as I said that you ask any of the companies who are doing training that do you do Gen AI training, they said of course we do, because if we don't do, it's a crime in today's corporate world, right? So but what kind of training you're doing? And one of the things we found out is the adaptation of Gen AI is not happening because the HR and the L&D does not know the use cases of what it needs to be used. So one of the ice cream companies, they use Gen AI to produce a different flavor every month. A lot of shoe companies are coming out with new shoes, right? So implementation, going to the grassroots for insurance, I think is where the Gen AI is going to be implemented. How well we are implementing, how much we are implementing, probably it depends on leaders like you.
In fact, I am reminded of a story. Sorry.
You're completely into the initial stage.
Yes.
In fact, this reminds me of a small story, if you can allow me actually. During the days of 1989-90s, I'm talking about, a death claim had come and there was a mail to be returned to the, this is a real life situation which I'm talking about. And the agent development officers were, to the tune of about 10th, 12th standard educated or something like that. So there was a mail to be written or handwritten letter to be written for the claims department. So, the person wrote, I wouldn't like to name actually because of obvious reasons. The mail was written, and I am very glad to inform you that my husband expired on so and so date, and sort of thing. So when this happened, they had a very good system of jugaad also. They know they can make a mistake, and then when the mistake is pointed out, how to come out of that also was very expert in that actually. So the claims lady said, this is not the way to write a letter. You will have to, write something differently. So, is it a happy situation that the husband has died? That's what the lady asked, the claims manager. Then the gentleman says, हाँ, पैसा मिलने वाला है ना, तो खुशी की बात ही है ना. So that's the way he tried to cover up it. But now such situation will not arise with AI. Because a chat GPT is available. You can just write a mail, a death intimation mail to this thing. Within 2 minutes you can get, reply over there. So this Gen Z has become much more smarter. All these things have been accumulated into one particular thing. And I'm giving you a real life situation so that you can connect with all these aspects which are happening. And trust me friends, with this AI coming in, the way in which our correspondences will be, the way in which the products that will be sold, the way in which we deal with the customers, all these aspects are going to be really going to be, at the forefront and going to be making your life much more easier and also scientific. That's
Can I just add to this? One thing, as Viju also mentioned, that organizations and typically L&D, because they are the torch bearers of pioneering any new technology or initiative. We are also very cautious about use of Gen AI because world over you will see regulations are getting stricter, and fake news, biasness that is created in the technology has to be looked at with some wisdom. So it's not that blindly we follow a particular trend. I'm not saying that this is just a trend, but the use of it has to really help the humanity as a whole. If it creates more bias, then we are the people who have to, look into it as L&D people, because we propagate it. Not that we are the owners of that technology, but we propagate it. We have to understand it very, very clearly. And we have to ensure that no biasness. There had been cases where, gender bias was created because the language used was of a particular gender. So we have to be very aware of it. If it hurts the sentiments of people, we are responsible for it, because we have to checker and maker, we have to be there. And my daughter is in college now and she's searching for, universities world over. So she said we have to write SOP, but then they have ensured that you are not going to use Gen AI. Even if a single line is there which is constructed through Gen AI, they'll reject it. So yeah, so we have to understand the technology so well, and like what he mentioned about it, when we look at business transactions, certain things can be really helpful. We spend a lot of time writing emails. Why not have a template? The template can be generated through it, and then you correct it, edit it maybe with your wisdom. That is what is required. So the technology, and we being human resource people, we look at the human factor a lot along with the technology. Technology is something which human beings have to learn rather than machines learning humanity. So that is also one aspect. Thank you.
Viju, you wanted to say something, and
No, he just said that it's not just skill. So if you look at some research around Gen AI, skilling is only 25%. Deployment is 75%. So, we have not gone to that stage of deployment, but very soon, when you look at Gen AI going to be used, it's going to be more used in deployment. You will have chatbots, you will have a lot of AI models which will create those expansions for those companies. Yeah, thank you.
thank you, Viju. Thank you all for contributing this question. But that got me to another question. Look at our panel today. All men. Okay.
But the moderator is...
I wanted to say minus me, I'm the host. With your permission. I think Viju gave it away, but yeah. But the ETHR states that there is a need to develop women, especially in the insurance sector. At present, it's around 15% across and less than 15% in the leadership roles. It's not bad when you compare it to other sectors, some of the other sectors, but yet, with insurance growing, and we are looking at $250 US by next year, we're very close. So what are those three things that your organization is doing to develop strong women leaders? Avijit, this is for you.
So first of all, we are following the Generali policies, which is Italy based, and for that, as an organization, we already have a policy of 25% of women leaders. So that is now mandated, and as an organization, we are already working on it. So maybe the number as 15% you quoted, you're already more than that. Same for even non-life as well. So as Indian Ventures, we are already working on it. So that is the first. So at the time of recruitment, unfortunately or fortunately, my entire team is a female. My boss L1 as well as my L2, both are. So I am the only one. So I already have done whatever maybe the policy has been decided into the organizations. I already crossed that particular barrier.
Have you taken insurance?
Yes. Okay. So as an organization, that is one thing what we have done. Yeah. In terms of leaderships, yes, in Future Generali, what we realized, in terms of growth is concerned, or in terms of people who had stick to the organizations with growth, the female retention is better than a male into Future Generali. Especially, I mean, that is what we have the numbers in terms of life. And that is the reason we are also now started the managers development program, so especially into the training. So at the initial stage, mostly when a person is a frontliner, he does well and he grows into the leadership role, or when he can handle as a manager. But the challenges starts from there itself, because when you are an individual contributor, your performance versus your managerial competency has a difference. And we as an organization, we also have started the managers competency development program, which is done specially with the women leaders, right? So that is one thing we have initiated. And as I mentioned, number one is in terms of recruitment, we already have focused for whenever we are hiring. So minimum at least 25% of resumes to be sourced for women. So that's how, as of now, we are working on that towards, so for the across country, for any level.
What is the percentage of, when you're looking at the growth of a woman in a leadership role, is there a percentage out there also, or is it a mandate only in the recruitment space?
Mostly into, you want to answer?
We belong to the same group. Yeah, there is a definite percentage to it.
There is a definite.
Yes.
And you follow it.
We follow it. We are WIP, work in progress. We follow it, but then
Yes.
work in progress.
Thank you.
Right.
This is one question the rest want to contribute.
Do I? Yeah, I'll take this. Yeah, I think this is on a very serious note. DEI is absolutely, what to say, it's not just another phrase to it, but there's a lot of work that we are doing on DEI. So it's not about only women leaders. There's like Vijit has already mentioned, we belong to the same group. So we have right from recruitment, sourcing of candidates. Right from that stage, we are looking at women employees, women leaders into the organization. There are specific training programs for them. So looking at the requirement of women leadership programs are being organized. And like you were mentioning, is there any number or percentage that we definitely look at that. And not only that, we directly lateral hiring we do, but we want to grow them. And another interesting initiative I would like to mention here is that we are looking at women who left their careers midway because of the family, bringing up children and supporting the family, and they want to come back. So that segment is also, they are well trained, they are educated, they are qualified, they have proved that they can be so productive in the organization. We are welcoming them back in the organization, and there are many initiatives that we are running to that. That's one aspect of it. As I mentioned, DEI is very important. We are also looking at LGBTI community, so, and PWD also. So I am also one part of one of the ERG, employee resource groups. So we are working towards ensuring that we have complete diversity, equity and inclusiveness.
Thank you, Pankaj.
Can I add? JB Boda, 8-decade-old organization. Trust me, in the initial days, there was not a single employee who was female. Just few days back, I was sitting with my chairman and we were interviewing, a talent acquisition person. We were just interviewing for a recruitment purpose. At that time, the lady asked the question, what is your gender percentage wise, you know, how many females are there in your organization. She wanted to talk something about POSH or something like that. That's what she was, to arrive at that particular point, actually she was just mentioning that. Then my chairman subtly said, once upon a time we had no, female employees, but now you people are ruling. So of late, the percentage of female employees are much more. With due respects to all the gentlemen sitting here, the ladies seem to be more determined, the ladies seem to be more knowledgeable, the ladies seem to be more consistent and persistent in the role they perform and to the optimum level. So that's why leadership position also is being acquired by them, ma'am. Yes, they are growing. They are growing the organization, they are growing themselves, and as a whole, they are contributing a lot to the industry also.
Thank you all three. Since we are in this conversation wherein we've kind of moved into the DEI, I have one more question. You know, diversity also comes with age, right? So we have, baby boomers who are on the way out. You know, they're saying goodbyes, we've done our jobs, we've set up the organization. And then we have the Gen Zs who are trying to make their mark in that space. Right? So what I want to know is from, again, Pankaj and Viju. I would like to know what are the best practices used to manage these multi-generational teams?
Multi-generation, and so they say that, you know, the answers for the problems of today lies in the past. So we had this barter system, and so there's a bartering should be happening. We can name it reverse mentoring. Wisdom should be bartered with technology. The older generation or the more senior folks should probably transfer wisdom, and they should take technology. So recently Marco just sent me a message of an article which said don't do major in minor. So I was like, okay, at times you end up doing that. So that's a wisdom which people know, which is lacking in the generation of today. At the same time, a small thing like you switch on a night mode on a phone, it's better on your eyes, right? So those kind of technology things can be taught to a senior leadership. So organizations should develop that platforms or those bridges where reverse mentoring should happen, so that all the generations can learn from each other, and there is an not just it should be more organized in manners.
Yeah, I absolutely concur with what Viju is mentioning here. I think a lot of experience that the baby boomers carry with them, and the wisdom that he mentioned about, has to be coupled with the knowledge of technology and the new experiences that the new generations have. In between also there are different generations, and all these generations contribute to the well-being of not only the organization but society at large, and there's a lot of give and take that happens. I think we have to have, not every time we talk of a construct and a structured training program around it, but these are subtle things which we pick up every day, which we learn from each other every day. So a young person may make, as typically IT companies say, and I think it was the Microsoft co-founder mentioning that, we hire lazy people, because then they will know how things to be done fast and effortlessly. So I'm not saying that the generations have to be lazy, but there is a way of looking at things. Not every time you have to slog, because certain generations, older generations, feel that hard work is something that you have to do, otherwise you won't succeed and all. They're smarter people. They feel that effortlessly if things can be done, why not use those things? So there are layers, and in the organization we are fortunate in general insurance. I have spent 20 years, but before that I have also worked in. So when I talk about my experiences, they come up with solutions. You would have done that time, would have made the whole TAT lesser. And these are ideas. And because now they know that technology can help them with this. That time I did not have the fortune of having the technology. But lot of exchange can happen, and we have to be all the time aware of it, that in organization, people who belong to different generations are bringing in different perspectives. And we have to respect them. As an L&D person, I really feel that, respecting that, understanding it, where it is coming from, is very important. And you have to put it to use. Thank you.
Thank you, Pankaj. Thank you, Viju. We have the last 5 minutes, and I'm going to ask you a question that's been very close, and something that we've been working on also. So there's a lot of research that's gone into it, and in my mind is ESG. Okay, is it mandatory? Like for the banking, it's getting very close to mandates. For the insurance, is it mandatory? One. And how is your organization preparing to meet ESG standards? If it's going to be a mandate, it's within 2025. So then how are you going to manage that, especially when it comes to compliance? And how are you covering everybody from the leadership to the grassroots? I'm going to open this question out to all of you because this is something close to my heart and what's happening in the world. This is something that's going to happen immediately.
I'll take that first. I'll have the first mover's advantage. I can speak less on that actually. Now, having said that, ESG is the future, and that realization has started coming right from tops to bottom. And unless we are getting connected to this particular concept in a much more elaborate and proper way, I think things will not fall in place. So while the insurance companies needs to identify products to that particular level, maybe prepare products which are going to take care of this ESG, as well as also ensure that the environment is being taken care of by whatever mistakes have happened in the past. So if at all we are able to allocate our resources, yes, it's a mindset change right from top to bottom, as I mentioned to you. Even Gen Z needs to understand the importance of what ESG can do for them in the future actually, and how their safety lies in that, I would say. The next, the life on this earth can happen only if we are going to take care of this ESG in a proper way. So the mindset change right from the, the management, that they need to invest into this particular aspect. The middle, age group people to implement these particular aspects, and the new insurance companies and other areas actually, we need to, give a full throttle to ESG so that everybody can contribute a lot and also ensure that the planet is safe to live.
Yeah, thanks Anand for saying that. I think that mandate is definitely there. All organizations have to align, and there's a government mandate also, and in our organization we have the company's mandate also, to ensure that whatever actions we do today will have long implications, and the sustainability that we are talking about, and the carbon footprint has to be reduced, and how do we contribute to it, how each employee in the organization takes it responsibly and understand what does this environment, sustainability and governance mean, and what are the terms that are suggested or mandated. So there's a lot of work that we have to do to make people understand, because when we start with saying that environment, generally it is seen as the nation has to do something, the governments have to do something, organization at very broad level has to do something. So where do I come into it? As an individual, what do I do? Not use plastic, that's the only thing? Or maybe take e-bus or e-rickshaw or e-taxi, that's the only thing? There's a lot to go into it. And unless, I am coming from the L&D side, unless we start talking about it, the buzz has to be created, and at the employee level, individual level, what are the things that the individual can do to ensure that the future generations will have a planet which will, support life for many decades to come, or thousands of years to come. So that understanding and realization is extremely important, and in the organization we have already started doing it. And all the departments, their roles are also, clearly have been understood. We have hired a consultant also for that, and the consultant is working on that. And they're explaining us, I have attended meetings on that, they are explaining us exactly what is the mandate, what are we looking at, how do we reduce it, whether it is the electricity that we use in the organization, whether the, the travel that we do by air, how are we going to reduce all that so that the environment is protected and we abide by the norms. And the governance side is also very strong on that. Because sometimes it happens that we skip understanding it, and with the kind of habits that we have, we for example, I'm just giving one small example. Are we all using wooden toothbrushes? Many of us are still using plastic toothbrushes. So it starts from the moment you get up in the morning. So we in the organization, we started propagating that. And we did a small, sort of an assessment with a gamification around it, that let us know what are the things that you use and you have stopped using, or you are planning to, stop using those things. So write it down, maybe put a picture of it, and create the buzz around it. So when I travel from Mumbai, Pune, I shuttle between Mumbai, Pune very often. So I use e-buses or e-taxis. I don't use the fossil fuel this thing. So I put a picture of that I'm using it. That it's a sort of a reinforcement to me also, that look, you have to, continue with these new habits now. And I have started using the wooden toothbrush. I mean, small habits, but will have a longer impact on it.
Thanks, Pankaj. As you were speaking, I was also thinking about the metrics around it. Is there something that the organization looking around the metrics, and how is it getting rolled into the vision of the organization?
Yeah, so having a metric is definitely there, and we have involved the compliance team, the administration team. They are having their plans. They are explaining us the plans, that this is what we want to change, this is what we want to reduce, and this is how the whole thing will happen in year 2024, 25, 26. A long-term plan is also there. So that is definitely there.
Did you?
Pankaj, you just, we did some research around it. We have a research team who was working on it. And what you said is absolutely brilliant. In fact, I would take this opportunity for our research team to interact during this session, because a lot of knowledge, because we see in India, the corporate education or the learning companies, what they're doing, they're addressing the problem at a policy level. What you said is at an application level. So that's so beautiful. So I think, Himani, use this opportunity to connect, and thanks a lot, Pankaj.
I would just like to mention one quote. Somebody said that, for this particular sustainability issue, not doing something has a bigger cost than doing things. So if we still keep on getting with the old habits, it will be costlier. Then change it. So a lot of things we have to change at a personal level also, the habits that we have. And look at the environment that we, leave behind.
Thank you, Pankaj. It was an engaging conversation. I want to know if any one of you have any questions for the panelist. Okay, and I think we're running out of time also. Sorry.
Hi, good evening, everyone. The session was really interesting. We have received a couple of questions, but due to paucity of time, we'll take one for the panel. The question is, what emerging technologies do you think will have the biggest impact on HR in the insurance industry in the coming years?
No, I went to hardcore training. But because I feel that, I come under HR only. Emerging technologies, there is absolutely on the top of the chart is AI ML. So Gen AI and machine learning is definitely there. And as an organization also, we are leveraging that. But that's the in thing, and that's where on a corporate level maybe, there are many other technologies also. For example, now cloud computing is everywhere, but that was some time back an emerging technology, and blockchain is there. So these are the technologies which are not fully utilized. So they are kind of emerging also, and they are actually helping the industry quite a lot.
Thank you, Pankaj. Let me invite Yash, who's a product leader for Digital Regenesis, to give you a token of appreciation as our gratitude for coming here. Avijit? Anand? Pankaj? I'd like to invite Dr. Marco to give the word of thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming tonight. I know your time is very precious and you have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of people, responsibilities, thousands, I suppose, in your companies. I enjoyed listening to you. There's a lot of experience in your life, you know, from starting with no woman in your organization to big percentage to now new generation of people. So thank you so much. I hope this is the beginning of a long-term relationship that we would like to really interact with you and to learn from you, so that knowledge we can also transmit in our classes with our students. So that all teaching and learning is not theoretical, so it's really applied. We would like to be close to business. So thank you so much, and I hope this is the beginning of a long-term relationship. So some of you, when you retire, you may have desire to teach. I think older we become, the desire grows stronger. So we have desire to share those insights and lessons we learned in life, and that wisdom that Vijay was talking. So who knows, maybe some of you will become academics, lecturers, maybe part-time lecturers, you know. So I look forward to developing a long-term relationship, and welcome you also if you decide to travel. My accent comes from Croatia, a country called Croatia. So if you decide to go on holidays, please, we'll take care of you in Croatia or in South Africa or in Kenya, wherever we have our offices. We are not paying you for this today, so we know your time is very expensive, so we will try to reciprocate in different ways.
Take us to Masai Mara, that's more than
Okay. Yeah, we have a beautiful office in Kenya, and we have a team of people there from India, also from Kenya. So let us know, you know. We have also one of our businesses in our group is a travel business, so we can help with travel arrangements, you know. Just one comment, Pankaj, regarding your practical tips around environment and wooden toothbrushes and all this, you know. And maybe for audience also. If you become vegetarian, you know, so apparently to produce 1 kilogram of meat takes about 10 kilograms of grain, you know, which has a huge impact on environment, you know. So if you become vegetarian, you'll do a lot of good for the planet. Yeah. I am vegetarian, and I would like more people to become vegetarian. Not only because of environment, also because of your own health, you know. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much. All the best, and please enjoy some food. We have some nice food. All vegetarian food tonight.
That's great. We have a philosophy of vegetarian food for the last 8 decades. In every program of ours. Even the global meet, the JP Boda group practices that actually. They say given 8 generations have been able to do business, why not future?
Okay. Thank you so much. Please come and join us. Yeah, also some drinks if you like.
Recording stopped.
After this stress